In Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna says, Nahi jnanena sadrusham pavitramiha vidyate tat swayam yoga sansiddhaha kalena atmani vindati. In this world, there is nothing equal to wisdom, jnana. In this context, jnana does not mean material knowledge, but it truly means the knowledge of the self. So knowing the self as divine is the highest wisdom that one can attain in this world, and there is nothing equivalent of that. Nahi jnanena sadrisham pavitram, pure and sacred, like the knowledge of the self. Nothing else in the world exists. And how do we attain it? Tat swayam, on his own. That one attains it who yoga sansiddhaha, who has perfected himself or herself in this yoga of detaching from the world and attaching to God. Detaching and attaching yoga. The one who has perfected oneself in detaching from the worldly desires and attaching to the spiritual pursuit, such a person will attain that wisdom eventually. Kalena atmani vindati. With the passage of time, at some point of time, everyone will attain it. Whoever puts efforts to detach from the world and attach to God, he will attain, she will attain that ultimate wisdom, that perfection, of which nothing equivalent exists in the world. So in our institution, when we are supposed to be educational institutions, we are supposed to impart knowledge and wisdom. But most of the people are interested in the worldly knowledge, the material knowledge, which will help them fill their bellies. But not interested in that most sacred of all knowledge, which is the knowledge of the self. The material knowledge is nothing compared to the self. The knowledge of the self is what our scriptures tell. Therefore, the one who has knowledge of the self is the most sacred person, because that wisdom is most sacred. However, we also need this vidya of the world in order to live our lives, in order to look after ourselves, look after our families. And therefore, that also has to be imparted. There is no two ways about it. But a good balance of both, and if at all, a greater importance to the knowledge of the self, to the spiritual knowledge, should be the way of educational systems. For a long time, our educational systems were imparting both in their own way. However, the bigger change that has happened right now is to give more importance to the spiritual knowledge systems without ignoring or compromising on the material knowledge also. But now we know what comes first and what comes second. That's all is the difference. Gratitude was always there in students and parents even earlier. But that gratitude did not translate into any meaningful action for the welfare of the society. That was the problem. Those who studied earlier too in all the institutions, they carried a sense of gratitude. Their parents also had some gratitude towards the institutions, which looked after their children, imparted right kind of knowledge and wisdom, taught them to be self-disciplined. But this only remained as an idea in their minds. Oh, this institution is good, many nice Tyagajivis are there, or even earlier other institutions, good teachers are there, good environment is there. So they carried that gratitude and grateful feelings, but it did not translate into welfare of the society. The students were very good. They did very well for themselves, both academically and also spiritually to some extent, I would say. And also they got very good placements. Many of our students from all our institutions are very well placed in the society. But what did they do with it is the question that I want to ask. Did they take it further to help 100 more students come out of poverty, deprivation? Did they work towards providing opportunities for another 100 children like of their own kind? Did they make efforts to expand the institutions to reach out to more children and help them also? I think that did not happen. Neither it happened by personal inspiration nor by institutional effort. Both ways it did not happen. So big difference that we wanted to make from the previous times to now is to translate this gratitude into action and not let it remain as a nice feeling within one's heart. Parents being happy with the institutions, grateful to the teachers, is not sufficient anymore. It should translate into them providing a similar opportunity for somebody else's child who cannot afford. Alumni, students who studied here, received so much of love, care, attention, and all the knowledge and spiritual wisdom. It's not enough if they keep it to themselves and only impart to their children within their homes. It should spread to hundreds of other children, give them the rightful opportunity for education, help them also come out of poverty and this vicious cycle of poverty. And let them also rise in life, let them also become like them. This effort needs to be made now, which was not happening earlier, maybe in pockets here and there. But largely it wasn't happening. And teachers of the institution did not work to create the next generation of teachers. They were happy and sufficient and satisfied unto themselves that they have got an opportunity to serve in this institution, and they served with the best of their abilities, and they were satisfied that they have done their job as long as it was given to them. But this burning passion to create more of their likes, more of their tribe was not there. So these are the three things which were lacking in the educational systems in terms of what parents, students and teachers were doing, and now what they are supposed to do or they are already doing. Parents carried gratitude, but it did not translate into any welfare activity for society in general. It remained in their hearts. They had good words, good things to say about the institution. Gratitude was not translating into action for welfare of others. In students, what was the problem? The students did not think what I received from this institution, I must pass it on to 10 others or 100 others, in whatever, whether they're inside the institutions or elsewhere. That effort was not in a large scale. Maybe in small scale it was happening, but not really kind of worth even mentioning. And with teachers, the institution's staff, they were very sincere, they are sincere, very dedicated, committed, loving, passionate about what they're doing. But they did not work towards creating the next generation of teachers and institution builders by thinking what will happen after us. What will be the fate of this institution? That effort was not being made. There was a wishful thinking, there was a desire, there was a prayer. But it all remained as an idea and did not translate into meaningful action. All we are trying to do at this point of time is to correct these three things and make it a meaningful action. All gratitude, all commitment, all gratefulness must translate into meaningful action. How? By parents working towards providing such an opportunity to many other children or joining the institution and supporting them. How students can show gratitude, join the institution, work with the institution, help more children, or wherever you are, make sure that you are continuously a part of the institution and you support the institution's efforts. If you can't do it individually, at least somewhere, some days of the month, some resources, some knowledge, skills you must share. That's a part of your responsibility. That has to be happening now. And third, about the institution staff, they have to create more of their likes. They must inspire some of the children to feel that this is the way of our life. We must also take to this path. And that inspiration is to be inculcated in the young minds by the teachers of the institution. So these three things were not happening, and this is what I'm trying to make it happen right now. Nothing more than that. Make inspired students who will join the institution or serve in whichever way, but just do not carry the gratitude in heart as a good, nice feeling and only send poems and letters, no. Or give speeches at best. No, it cannot. It has to translate into action. Parents cannot just go on praising the institution in front of others and feel good that they have benefited, but they have to make efforts to help others benefit out of this system, either by themselves or by being a part of this institution in some way or the other. And teachers cannot just remain happy saying that I did my job when the opportunity was given to me, I did what I could, and I'm happy with that. No, that contentment will not work. You should have left behind 100 others like you before you retire, so that they continue this tradition and even spread it further. That was expected of the teachers. And these three, if we set right, there is no system better than our system in the world in terms of education. It's a pure, very honest, very a right kind of system, with the right approach, right policies, right processes, right people. The only thing was somewhere a little bit of gaps were there. These gaps we are trying to fill now. If that gets filled, this will become perfect system, and I think this will become a role model for the whole world. That's all we are trying to do at this point in time. We are working towards providing as many opportunities to students as possible to pursue their area of interest. Right now we know we also have added medical education. Why are we doing that? Because a lot of students and parents used to say, I want my son to be a doctor, daughter to be a doctor. And they would take them out, take a loan, put them in some institution and struggle. But this is possible now without all these struggles. Provided you are, as I said, all the gratitude should translate into action. After they become doctors, nurses, paramedics, that also has to translate into meaningful action. As far as the university is concerned, the UG, PG, PhD courses are there. All of that is available for no cost at all for everybody. Pursue that, and then best thing you can do is to spread this knowledge to others. Jnana dana you do. Become an educationist, become an academician, and help more children gain both material and spiritual knowledge. That is the second part of this thing that students must do. And as far as the teachers and Tyagajivis are concerned, with their conduct and their behavior and their inspiration of their own lives, they must inspire the younger generation to become like them. Children should say, I would like to lead a life like that because I simply admire, I am inspired by the way they have done things for others. I also want, at least a few of them should get inspired in your class, if not all, in some way to become like you. That's all I'm expecting out of this whole system. We're doing everything in our might and more just to ensure that every child gets an opportunity to pursue their passion, their interest, their likes, so that they become perfect in what they're doing. If we push them to do things other than what they're born to do, it leads to mediocrity. This is what I was telling. We are a nation which celebrates mediocrity. So parents' responsibility is to just provide the right kind of environment and opportunity to the child to blossom in whatever field the child is interested in, whatever the child's inherent talent is. So we are only working towards providing the opportunity, right opportunity to all the children. And what they do with the opportunity is purely up to them. We made some changes, and those parents who are with us now after all the changes that have happened, I only want to convey that they have trusted our thought process. They have believed that what we are doing is for the highest welfare of their children and their families, and have continued their children to study, blessed their children to continue their studies in our institutions. So those parents are very precious to us. About those parents who could not align themselves to our system, our values, our ideas, I can only tell them that probably they are right in their own way. I do not know how they think or why they think the way they think. But I can only say that there was another opportunity also for you to use this as an institution to build your children's character and to bring them up in life. Probably you have a better way of doing it, so I will leave it up to you. Parents can wish for their children's bright future, good life, and all that. No, nothing wrong in that. But they also must simultaneously wish that my child should not just live for his own or her own sake. My child should be an ideal example of service, kindness, compassion for others also. That will be the fulfillment of my parenting. That's all I want the parents to think about. And it is possible with the kind of parents and teachers that we have and the kind of students that they are with us. I'm sure this is going to be a very successful model. And in years to come, countries after countries will come to study our model of education. How did you achieve this? And hopefully one day they will all study and implement it wherever they are. So the gratitude that comes in our people because of our system is different. The quality of gratitude is different. The only thing is that gratitude must turn into action. So I hope someday people will look at our system, look at our parents, teachers, and students and derive inspiration and build more such models of education around the world. That is the only solution to the problems of the world. Right kind of education, and that right kind of education is possible with right kind of parents, teachers, and students. That is a simple formula for the happiness, for the welfare, for the goodness in the society. There is no other way. Whichever country, whichever religion you follow, whichever philosophies you follow, it doesn't matter. This is equal for all. Any country will prosper only if the education system is right. And that also with the right kind of parents, right kind of teachers, and right kind of students. So that is the essence of today's meeting. Exams are approaching now for most of the children, so you must study well. You must do well in your exams too. It's important for me that you do very well in your academic subjects as well. And we have made whatever effort we could to provide you with better opportunities to pursue your subjects of interest. NIOS, the shifting of NIOS happened because from 9th onwards you can kind of have a little inclination towards the subjects that you like. More of science, less of arts, that's fine. Or more of arts, less of science, that's fine. So this is why we made some changes. And I hope now you will do well. Now you can't come and tell, despite this also we are not able to study. It's not right. I'm not saying you get 100 out of 100 in every subject, but those subjects which are of your interest, you must show me a good result in those subjects. You may say, I don't like mathematics, but I like biology. Then show me 100 marks in biology. Don't show me 100 in mathematics, I'm okay. You show me 75, 80 in mathematics, but show me 100 in biology. At least one subject every child, even if it's a language, say it English or Sanskritam or Kannada or whatever language you have, show me 100 marks in that. My aim is that every child in our institution should have got 100% marks at least in one subject. Because that is the subject that the child loves, that is the subject the child is interested in. Then my theory will be proven right. That yes, that child is made for something. If none of these, show me your results in sports. Show me a medal in your athletics and sports events. If not that, show me some perfection or some bit of achievement in music if you are a musician. You say, no, I am not interested in languages also, I'm not interested in science, arts, therefore I can't get good marks. Then show me your abilities in the talent that you are going to pursue, like music. Something. You cannot say that I am not good at anything. It's not possible. It's not possible. So show me one subject we should get maximum marks. And the other subjects, okay, then I know that you are pursuing something of your interest. Then what I am saying will be right. You can't say I am not good at anything and I can't get any marks in anything. That's not right. That won't happen. So please put efforts so that you do well in your subjects also. And on the Paravidya and the spiritual knowledge side, I am already noticing a great change, and a lot of children have picked up such deep spiritual concepts. They may not be able to fully, as I say, experience it, but they are able to appreciate that such a truth as that exists. That itself is a great achievement. So, but like two wings of the bird, both wings are important for one to fly high. The knowledge of the world and knowledge of the self, both must go hand in hand. So with that effort, please put all your efforts, and please tell your parents also that this is the model, this is the idea, and their blessings and willingness to let you continue should be there. At the same time, I am also saddened that a lot of children have not been able to appreciate, despite having been with us for 5 to 6 years. A lot of them are leaving after 8th class, 10th class. And I do not know why they even stayed back, because we had given them a choice 2 years ago or 1 year ago that you choose now to leave if you want to leave. But they stayed on because they just wanted to finish off the 8th or 10th because they won't get admission in between elsewhere. They stayed on, but that was unfair to the system. I don't think they should have done that. Their parents should have done that, to use the system for their benefit. I think that was not right. But then I'm happy that if they are not aligned, they are leaving. That's also okay with us. We will try to work on the quality of our system and not the quantity. And once the quality is set right, we will increase the quantity also. Therefore, consciously we are not expanding educational institutions. We have kept it where it is till we produce enough of our kind, till we improve the quality of education systems. And still there are applications which I was told, we have got more applications in certain campuses than what we can afford. Even for 20, 30 seats, we've got applications like 150, 200. And we have to close the websites because we can't take more students there. So there are other parents too. So never think that this system, I know some elders worried what will happen if you make such drastic changes. And I assured them, yes, it will go through a small dip in between, but it will go back again and be with much better quality of parents and students and things like that. And that's what is going to happen. So we have nothing to worry, we are on the right path. Dharmo rakshati rakshitaha. The truth or the dharma that we do will protect us, will take care of everything. With this faith, and also I'll use this opportunity to thank all the devotees and everybody else who supports this mission selflessly from around the world. These are not their children, this is not their country, yet they support this entire effort. To them also, our collective gratitude and our prayers for all the victims of the earthquake in Syria and Turkey. And it is a sad thing, but it is a natural calamity. We cannot do anything about it. However, we can at least whatever help we can do, the devotees who are there and around, whatever we can do to rehabilitate them, to help them come back, go back, get back to their lives, normal lives again, and overcome the grief of the loss of their near and dear ones, we must do in our capacity. If nothing else, your children who are sitting here, please pray for the welfare of everyone sincerely. Don't chant Samasta Loka Sukhna Bhavantu as some mantra that has been taught. How many times count and finish? Not like that. Really, every time you chant, it should come from the depths of your being. It should melt your heart every time you say that you are praying for the welfare of the entire world. It should melt your heart. That's how you should chant. Then that mantra is carrying the power. Chanting like a parrot won't help anyone. A tape recorder also can chant. That doesn't make any sense. So please chant with complete faith, complete sincerity and real feelings, that you feel for everybody's welfare, and that's how when you chant, that mantra will have power. Even that has the vibrations generated will help people, help the nature itself. A lot of these natural disasters because of this imbalance in our thought, word and actions. The moment we bring balance, a lot of these disasters can be averted. So please pray with all sincerity. That is the minimum you can do as our institution's members.